Just waiting for some people to join. Hello. Hello, if you can hear me. I'm just waiting for people to join so I can begin this live stream. Hello, good afternoon from here. If you can hear me, good afternoon. Waiting for people to join so I can start this live stream. Okay, I can see somebody has joined. Good afternoon. If you can hear me, good afternoon from here. Good afternoon, MBC TV. Good afternoon. Okay, still waiting for some people to join. Please, MBC TV, can you kindly help me to share this video so that people will get to know that I'm live? Okay, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. If you are just joining us, good afternoon. So let me just begin while others join us later. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jane Francis, a registered nurse and a registered nephrology nurse. So today I'll be talking about signs of labor. As you all know, that first-time mothers always get anxious and curious on what to expect during the labor time. But here I'm gonna tell you the signs you should be expecting as a pregnant woman when your pregnancy have gotten up to 9 months. First of all, you have to the signs of labor. First is you will notice a mucus plug. When I mean mucus plug, it can also be known as bloody shoe. It's look more like a cataish substance that comes down from your vaginal region. You know, some of them might be blood stained, some might be bloody, some might not be, but it is a thick substance that comes down from the vaginal region and it stains the pants. So once you see this sign, you should know that obviously the labor is about to commence. You know, another one you should be expecting, a sign you should be expecting, although it doesn't happen to most women, is a rupture of membrane. Some women, the amniotic fluid will rupture before the labor commences, while other women, the rupture of membrane may not present. Instead, other signs will present. Maybe at the peak of the labor, the membrane will be ruptured artificially by the midwife or the nurse taking care of the delivery. What I mean by amniotic fluid is a sac is a sac that harbors the baby. It contains fluid inside where the baby is embedded. So when this sac ruptures, you feel a gush of blood dance from your vagina. And when you see this gush of blood, it may not be so heavy, it might be light, but then when you see this gush of blood, know that the labor, this is a sign of labor. So you should just get prepared and take your things to the to hospital. Do not wait any longer, especially for women who have had their previous baby. All right, let me continue. Then another sign of labor you should expect is contraction. Some contraction they have true contraction and false contraction. True contraction is the real contraction you'll be looking out for during labor and delivery. All right, NBC. I'll attend to your question later, please. NBC TV, please. I'll attend to your question later. So, as I was saying, the contraction comes in. It's always is frequent in. It's the frequency is should be there. It comes and goes, and it's with time it intensifies and becomes more harder. And during the contraction, you feel a hard board on top of the fundus, that is on top of your stomach. It's as hard as a board, and it comes down from the up down to the lower part of the stomach. So this contraction, when to know if it's a true contraction is that if the contraction comes in, whenever even if you try to lie down or to sleep or to walk around, the contraction does not stop. It's always come and go. But in a forced contraction, when you try to rest, when you wake up, you notice that the contraction is no more there. That is one you to know if this contraction is a real contraction or a forced contraction. Yeah. So another one is when you get to the hospital as a pregnant woman, the healthcare provider or the midwife who will take care of the delivery will always check for vaginal for cervical dilatation. That is, the cervix will be soft, thinner than before. The nurses will always examine the vagina to know how much centimeter dilated the woman is. So for a delivery to happen, the woman have to be about 10 centimeters dilated. If you push before this 10 cm dilated, you there is likelihood of coming down with tear. So it is better you try to. I know labor pains can be very painful, but try as much as possible to endure these pains until you are able to you've pushed out this baby. Because when the you have not gotten to 10 cm and you push, honestly, you have a serious tear. It is better that the nurse gives the person episiotomy, that is a sharp cut by themselves, because they know where the cut has gone to. They can be able to suture it better than when the tear happens on its own. The tear can be very massive, so it is better to have a episiotomy than to have a tear. So the reason they ask women not to scream or shout during labor, I know most people have been commenting about that, the video I posted earlier about shouting and not shouting during labor. Yeah, I was intentional about that video, and the reason I made the video is that I noticed that most women, I know I'm not disputing the fact that labor pain can be painful. No, I always know that it's very painful, but then you have to try as much as possible to endure the pains. If even if you have to breathe through your lips like this, you can, if you want to open your mouth and breathe, you are allowed to open your mouth, but shouting is not advised. The reason is that people tend to lose energy when they are shouting, during labor. So when it is time for you to push this baby, it is always it is at that point you realize that you don't have strength, the energy to push your baby. And at that point, maybe the baby's head is already descended and you need to push out at that point. I don't have strength to push out. Then the nurse or whosoever is taking the delivery have to assist you in pushing. And assisted deliveries is not really advised. That's the reason I made that video. And most people are always attacking me on that, saying a lot of things, but it's fine, it's their opinion. So I am not saying that I'm telling women not to shout, but I advise, if possible, if you can. I know people's pain threshold are different. There are some people that can bear this um, labor pain, endure it to the end, while some people that cannot bear the pains. The reason I said try as much as possible to endure the pain so that during pushing you have the strength, the energy to push out the baby. Yeah. So other symptoms, other signs you should look out for labor during labor is, especially these other signs are the signs you will experience right in the hospital, maybe when the labor have progressed up to stage two or stage up to stage two, let's say two or three, you'll feel the urge to push. This feeling of urge to push when you are not fully dilated is not advised. I know the urge should be strong, but try as much as possible to resist it by breathing through your mouth. Because if you are doing like this, you are indirectly pushing. So at that point, we advise you to breathe through your mouth. Do not shout, do not scream. Breathe through your mouth. With that, you'll be able to endure the pains and allow the labor to progress, the dilatation to progress to up to 10 cm. So that is it for the feeling of pushing. Then the next thing is you have strong urge to pull. At that point, maybe you are the stage of second or third stage of the labor. You may have this urge to pull. Believe me, that urge is actually your baby's head coming down. The baby's head is pressing towards the rectum and also pressing towards the bladder. So it will make you to feel like urinating, it will make you to feel like pooing. At that point, you are not advised to come down from the delivery couch to go to toilets to poo or wee. No. That time, what the nurse would do for you is to either bring a bedpan for you to poo inside or use a catheter to to drain the urine if you are feeling pressed to drain the urine. But believe me that that urge to poo is really the the head of the baby descending down. So you're not advised to go to the toilet at that point. The nurse have to give you a bedpan or use a catheter to drain the urine if it's urge to urinate. So that is basically it. The signs of labor you should expect as a first time mother, even women that have had series of pregnancy and they already know what to expect. You should also keep up to date what's the differences between what was practiced in the past and what is current. So, does anybody have question for me? So, NBC TV, you're asking about jaundice in newborn babies. Yeah, jaundice actually happen in newborn babies. But my advice is that when a baby is noticed to have jaundice, although some hospitals will tell you they're going to do give a therapy, and they put the baby in a machine where the baby receives light that will help the baby to remove be able to remove this the cause of the jaundice through urine or feces. But then if you're in a hospital that don't have such such machine, what you have to do is just take the baby to when you are discharging. Obviously, the doctor will ask you to always bring out the baby under the sunlight, early morning sunlight, early morning for the sunlight before 10 a.m. You're advised to bring out this baby for several times. This is just for you to receive the sunlight, and this will help the baby excrete the bilirubin in their system, and the baby will be fine. I hope that answers your question. NBC TV. Hello, Nandi Former. You're welcome to this live stream. Does anybody have question for me? Please, if you have any question, kindly write in the comment section. Hello. Does anyone have question for me? Does anyone have question? Okay, before I conclude today's live stream, I would like to talk about a healthy habits we should, imbibe in our daily activities to help us prevent coming down with kidney problems, and make us to be generally healthy. First, I would always advise that for you to keep a healthy kidneys, you need to stay hydrated. That is the first, the most important. Always stay hydrated. Hydration is the key, and the required amount of fluid you should take in a day should be within 2 to 3 liters. Although the weather can determine how many liters you might take, but the recommendation is 2 to 3 liters. When it's too hot, your body will require more water. When it's too cold, you may not even feel that urge to the desire to take water. So that is it. The next point is exercise. Exercise is very key, is very important in keeping the body healthy, not just keeping the heart strong, but also the general well-being. Meanwhile, the use of alcohol, um, the use of the abuse of alcohol, and also the use of abo be reduced if not stopped. They have a way of, destroying the kidney cells, and when the kidney cells are gradually destroyed, at some point too, the kidneys will lose its function. Maybe my okay, let me explain the functions of the kidneys. Maybe when you know the functions of the kidneys, you will understand why you should keep the kidneys healthy. Try as much as possible to make sure the kidneys are healthy. First, the kidneys help to regulate the fluid in the body. The kidneys help to to produce a hormone known as erythropoietin. This hormone help in the production of red blood cells. The kidney also help to synthesize vitamin D, which is um, which is always gotten through the sunlight. One is taken when the body absorbs this vitamin D, it is in an inactive form. It is the kidneys that will activate it for the body to make use of it. Meanwhile, the kidneys help to regulate blood pressure. If the kidneys are damaged, the blood pressure will not be regulated. You see somebody who has kidney failure, all of a sudden the person began to develop high blood pressure as a result of the kidney failure. So there are other functions that the kidneys have that makes it a vital organ. Like it's a very vital organ. We should not jeopardize with it. Once the kidneys are being affected, almost the entire organs in the body are affected because these organs they work in hand like pari-passu. So once this is affected, it will also affect others. So try as much as possible to keep these kidneys healthy. They are working so hard to help to filter blood, filter waste, remove toxins from the blood. Assuming you are just eating, let's say you're just eating, let me just use the pipe like the sink in your toilet. You're just pouring water inside the sink, or the sink in your kitchen, pouring water inside the sink. If there is no pipe for it to flush out. The water keeps on piling up inside that sink. Exactly what the kidneys do. The kidneys are the filter the blood that the heart pumps to the kidneys. When the blood are being pumped by the heart and brought to the kidneys, it's this kidney that filter it to remove the excess fluid, remove the toxins, and return back to the body the good part of the blood. Then the filtrate, which becomes the urine, is being passed out as urine. So you can imagine if the kidneys are not functioning. So this whole process will be altered. As a result, there will be accumulation of fluid. You see the person bloating, feel bloated, that is swelling on the orbital side, that is the eye region. You see the person's eye bloating, the stomach, the legs, everywhere is just swollen. So these are the things that can result if the kidneys are failed in its function. Meanwhile, if the kidney also fail, the erythropoietin, like the hormone that produces red blood cells, will not be functional because it's the kidneys that produce this hormone. If the kidneys are not functioning, the hormones will not produce. You see somebody being anemic all the time. What I mean by anemic is you see the person having low shortage of blood all the time. So this is why I always advocate for a healthy kidneys. Always try to keep your kidneys healthy by by doing activities, engaging activities that can promote the kidney health. Does anybody have question for me? Hello, does anyone have question for me? Does anyone have question, or should I rather call it day? All right. Okay. What question, Nandi? For my what question do you have for me? Well, okay. You're asking, can excess water affect the kidneys? Excess water does not affect the kidneys. Mind you, whenever you take more water, you're expected to produce more urine. So you see people taking more water like this, and you see them frequenting the toilet because they'll have the urge to urinate. So excess water does not affect the kidneys. Instead, what instead when somebody's kidneys have failed, the person is advised not to take too much of water. But for someone whose kidneys, sorry, never have taken light, so I'm gonna call this a day very soon. For someone whose kidneys are, active, excess water does not affect the kidneys. Does that answer your question? Hello. Okay, that's nice. Okay, at this point, I'm gonna call it a day. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Thank you for joining this live stream. See you next time when I come live. For now, I don't know when I'm gonna come live. I'm gonna pass the message across the day I'm gonna come live. Thank you all and have a good evening. Okay.